Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Bwaaa!
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Hey, Rusty, it is Friday, so
it's our
we
Friday
are
episode.
doing That Ain't Right Fridays. Is that right?
That ain't right. Yeah, that's going to be what we call Friday. It's going to
That
be
ain't
called
right?
That
Is that
Ain't
right?
Right.
Yeah. So, Rusty, this one's up to you. What are we doing?
Well, today, guys, we're just going to discuss my and Mike's take on what we predict. Bwaaa. What we predict. Sorry, somebody said bwaaa on the live on Instagram.
Bwaaa.
So, yeah, we're live on Instagram on
Hello.
Friday episodes. We're not live on Friday. We're live on Saturday for our recording for the following Friday. So,
Right.
you guys won't actually hear this till the
Very
following
confusing.
Friday. So what we're going to discuss is we're going to discuss our thoughts, feelings, attitudes, opinions on the new reboot and how we think it might play out. So, Mike,
Yeah.
the struggle with the reboot is we lose two great voice actors and a great musician, great actress. We lose Luann, voice actor Brittany Murphy. She dies at a young age.
Sure.
Tom Petty dies at an appropriate age.
Did he?
I don't know. He was
think it was an
he's
appropriate
like
age.
70s, wasn't he?
No, come on. I think
I
it
don't
was.
know.
I think it was 35.
Well,
No, I don't know
I
how
don't
old
think
he
he was
was.
35.
No.
Brittany Murphy, I think,
Yeah.
was that old. I mean,
Yeah.
I know she was fairly young. But so yeah, I really don't know. So for me, it's going to be hard to replace those two voice actors. So the only way for me that works, if you keep those two in and you don't write them out, is if
Yeah.
you could find somebody who could do it with has to be flawless.
Right. Well, I think you could do it and not replace the people. I think there has to be a storyline written in to where these people are gone somehow, or they've moved away or whatever. I don't think you try to replace those folks.
No,
Now,
I don't think you can, even if you tried to.
I will tell you that a few days ago there was a thing published by a
Yeah, it was a big clickbait. I know exactly what you're talking about.
movie web.
Yeah, it was huge. Well, it was by every blog, TV show, podcast, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
has
Says it's dead.
wrote about it. Says that the revival died, but the revival
It's
is
dead.
not dead.
It's dead.
Fox won't have the revival. That's what. See, that's the
Well, I
clickbait.
mean-
That's the clickbait. Is everybody says the revival's dead. The
Sure.
revival's dead. It's not going to happen.
Sure.
But that was just to drive people to click on it to tell them, hey, it's dead for Fox, which is appropriate because Fox no longer owns the rights to it anyway. Disney has all the Fox rights,
Yeah.
so it would belong to Disney. And if Disney owns it, where's it going to go? It's going to go to a Disney-owned platform. What does
Sure.
Disney own? Disney Plus and Hulu. Where does it end up?
Hulu
Where's
makes-
King of the Hill right now?
Hulu makes total sense.
Either
yeah.
Hulu or Paramount makes sense to me because Beavis and Butthead's on Paramount, so they might do a deal with Paramount. Really, to me, it's going to be if he has the rights to put it where he wants it,
Yeah.
it goes wherever it's going to make the most
I
money.
think he gets to put it wherever he wants.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like
It's dollar
Hulu,
amount.
Hulu would be the absolute gold mine for him.
It could be, but
it is a Disney-owned property. It's where King of the Hill lives now. I think it just makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's like the Paramount thing with Beavis and Butthead. You know, they own MTV, so that only makes sense. It
makes sense that it's there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Mike Judge is still around. Kathy and the Jimmy's still around. Pamela Adlon's still around.
Everybody's still around except for those two voice actors. Yeah.
I mean, you know, all these people are still around. I think you would have to take Lucky and Luann and move them out of the country or away somewhere, or maybe
because they're only 3 houses down the street.
Right. Maybe Lucky became a prepper of some kind or something. Maybe he's in a bomb shelter somewhere and he took Luann with her or with him. I mean, that would make sense to me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they incorporate them at all. I don't know. The show is still going to be a great show.
Part, though,
yeah,
you know?
I feel like she is. I feel like she's a really big part, especially, I mean, yeah, Luann, I don't know. I feel like she's too critical to not having the show, and that's what makes it difficult, like for a reboot.
So let me ask the question that should not be asked. Would you be okay with them just not doing it?
Oh, just not doing a reboot?
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, yes.
Right.
But as a fan, I mean, you know,
Sure.
you always have that lingering.
Yeah, you want more.
What could it be? Because The Simpsons never stopped, so we got to see The Simpsons completely evolve all over that time.
Simpsons should have stopped.
It should have.
But,
I agree.
yes.
But The Simpsons didn't stop for whatever reason, and their ratings are still good, though. That's what's crazy is they still have decent ratings to stay on TV, because you don't stay on TV for 35, 40 years without ratings.
Well,
or however, like 32, 33 years is where we're at now.
I mean, you look at things like The Price is Right and some of these soap operas and stuff. By the way, I told this to my wife last night. Somebody is going to get super rich by taking one of those soap operas. You know, there's one soap opera now, and I don't remember which one it is, but that's moving to streaming. Right?
There's one that's going off the air completely.
Right, but there's also one that's moving
streaming
to
only.
Streaming only.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get super rich if they take that one soap opera and they turn it into a little bit more adult oriented. Put some curse words in it, show a little skin every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because
like some Game of Thrones.
Because that's what they're always implying in those soap operas.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
But if you got these ladies a little more 50 Shades of Grayish with their soap operas, I think you'd make a fortune.
You might, but it still has to be.
You got to appeal to the blue hairs, man.
Yeah, but it still has to be.
What you do? Here's what you do. You move one to a streaming service.
Yeah.
You make it more adult oriented. You make it more 50 Shades kind of thing.
Yes, it has to be like within like
where
the
you just see a little butt crack.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
has to be
that
within
kind
like
of
the
stuff,
PG-14.
right? But then you also make a deal with like Maytag or Whirlpool. And you have a deal where if you buy this...
Yeah, it really sounds like the 50s.
Well, if you buy this washing machine,
yeah,
you also get a subscription to whatever streaming service it is so that the ladies can sit on top of the washing machine and come to completion while they're watching
while they're watching their show.
There's your package deal.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. So for the...
Sorry.
That's good.
Joke.
That's good. No, so for the reboot for me... The plots and stuff, I just really don't think, because like I read a lot of the like everybody's take on it.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, you know, Cotton would have voted for Trump, or so and so would have voted for this, or so
Cotton would have been a huge Trumper.
And I don't agree with that.
You don't think
so? I
so?
don't think
Cotton?
so at all. And this is why.
I don't think Hank would.
And this
but
is
Cotton.
why I don't agree with Cotton.
Yeah.
Because Cotton would be like, the man was a draft dodger.
Oh, well,
I won't vote for a draft dodger.
You got a good point there. You're
Not only is he a
have
draft
good point
dodger, he also has talked down about disabled vets and stuff like that in a few of his ramblings and rants and stuff like that.
Yeah, with the whole shaking and all that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think that he would have went that direction. But I really don't know how far this new episode. I really don't want it to be. I mean, I know the show itself talks about hot topics.
Yeah.
And some politics. They add a little bit in there, not a whole lot.
Sure.
But I don't want it to be
Wasn't much.
Extreme. Like I don't want to have an episode where you have 1,000 trucks driving down the road with flags and stuff all over them. That's not.
No, I don't think we need that.
I don't think that's what King of the Hill has ever been. You know. Like it does hint and it does throw a little bit of it in there and some nuances and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's not like heavy. And I feel like that would be way too heavy. and divisive because it can only go one of two. Like a show like that has to go left or right. Like for the conclusion of it has to have a concluding point, left or right. And for a King of the Hill show, you know what I mean? Every show, for every episode that we've gone through has like a concluding point. So if you did do like a MAGA episode, it would have to have a very divisive concluding point. You know what I mean? So if you had those kind of episodes, you'd have to have because all of these divisive, all of the final points in every show that we have, there's a right or a wrong to the side of the telemorality. There's always a left or a right or a right or a wrong.
I guess you're right. You would have to
or bad or
either say it's good or bad, huh?
Yeah. So that would be, and I don't think that
I don't know.
That's commentary. I don't think that deep of political commentary is something that Mike Judge is a.
Maybe they're good enough writers to not to come up with something. I don't know.
We'll see.
You know the thing. Okay, so the show ended what year? 90.
No, the show ended in 2009.
2009. Okay, so they've already said that there would be a 15-year time jump. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is that? 2024,
Yeah, around then.
right?
Yeah,
So
it'd be like present time. Yeah,
you could be well past the whole MAGA thing. And
And
could
infer
just,
it.
You could just
Yeah.
show the division in the country, maybe.
and kind of
You
infer
know,
some stuff.
I
What if
would
it's like a post-apocalyptic King of the Hill? What if it's like
I'd be
King of the
okay with
Hill in
that.
2024 and the world's ended,
be okay with
and it's
that, yeah.
like Hank Hill's like running around with a chainsaw and
Yeah.
you know,
I'm okay with
you
that,
know, some. I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be kick ass. That'd be funny.
So, yeah, maybe you're past it. I would like to see Hank deal with some of the folks from today.
Yeah,
I think the LGBTQ plus arguments would be there, and I think Hank honestly would come down on their side because
he doesn't.
Hank always has.
He always comes on the side of morality.
He always has.
Just to forget it in the next episode.
He just wants people to be people and get along. That's really all he wants. You know,
well, that's
he
the thing that I
he
always
wants right
find
and
funny
wrong.
is that he ends up, you know, battling with his conservative views and progressivism,
Yeah.
and then he finally comes to terms with progressivism just to forget the next episode. And then
Well,
we have
sure,
the same,
because it's a
same
cartoon.
battle.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's
well,
kind of like
I don't know. I think it's
like
I don't think it
Tom
has to do
getting
with
his
being a
head blown
cartoon. I
off.
think it really speaks like to Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Like at his heart, he is a
Maybe.
good guy and he is understanding,
Yeah.
but he's just sometimes just got to lead a horse to
well,
water.
he still comes from
He's a
cotton.
horse you can lead to water, though.
He still comes from
Yeah.
cotton stock, so he's probably got a little bit of that in him, and I can kind of identify with that. I
Yeah.
have the same struggle with my father, that he is very, very conservative, and I find myself thinking that way from time to time, and then I come to a realization that I am who I am, and I'm not him, and I don't
Yeah.
want to be him.
That's okay.
And
Yeah,
so, you know, I can see that. And
Yeah.
and maybe that's too deep for a cartoon. I don't know.
No, I don't think it is, and I think that's what this Friday episodes is about. Friday episodes are about is
Yeah.
exploring everything with a little more
Exploring
depth,
our bodies.
exploring
That's
our
right.
bodies,
Sure.
or exploring the intricacies of King of the Hill and the philosophy of it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there might even be a book. And if there is a book, I'm going to buy us both a copy of it. Philosophy of King of the Hill, because there are a lot of books out there
Is
that are
there?
like that. I don't know if there's one for King of the Hill. If there is, I'll buy it.
There
but
should be.
there is philosophy of such and such or philosophy of such and such books where they take a TV show and they break it down philosophically.
Okay, so I would like to say, number one, philosophy of King of the Hill, trademark. You cannot do that without us.
There is an article, Philosophy of King of the Hill.
That's not a book.
But that's not a book, no.
I'm just saying.
It's actually an article on the fandom page where I get some of the
Why can't we
information from
write
the
a
show.
book? Let's write a book.
Oh, wow. So,
You want to write a book?
yeah, we can.
Let's write a book.
Let's write a book. We could.
Everybody out there, you want to help us write a book?
Yeah, help us write a book. So it
Artie,
discusses.
help us write a book.
It discusses some of the stuff that goes on in the shows. So you have the Battle of the Generations.
Yeah.
That boy ain't right. Husky Bobby, that kind of stuff. The battle, like the episode Husky Bobby and Bobby Slam.
Right.
Pretty much all the Bobby and Hank episodes. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Femininity
Femininity.
and the Decline of Boys. That's
Okay.
another philosophical, all the Bobby episodes.
Okay.
Gluttony and obesity
Uh-huh.
are some of the ideologies that they discuss. Narcissism. No one is perfect. And I really want to discuss, but actually this article right here that I'm going to save this. This is our next Friday's episode. Yeah, that's
With
our
that article?
This particular deal discussing
Or just go over the philosophy of each episode?
some of the well, not just each episode, just the deal that it has here. I'm not even going to talk about it because I want to save that for next time. But yeah, that'd be a cool book. The philosophies of King of the Hill. Like I said, they do that with some. There's some books out there that have the philosophy of such and such show or whatever.
I'm being super for real here. If people want to help us write that book, I would love to write that book.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I think that would be kick-ass.
That'd be a cool book.
We could go chapter by chapter and explore the dominant philosophies and see which episodes tie into them.
And there
you talk
are
about fan fiction. That's fan fiction.
lot. There are a fair amount of articles that discuss this stuff. There's Reddit conversations where it's discussed. And this is crazy. I didn't even want to see this. This is wild. King of the Hill reboot should kill off Hank.
So that was my next. That was my next point. Okay, that was my next thing.
Okay.
So there is an argument out there that they should kill off Hank, and Bobby should be the titular character in the show. And I thought when I read that headline, I was like, oh God, no, you can't do that.
I don't think you could.
But then I got to the middle of this article, and the guy does have a fair point. He says,
what's the point?
He says the quote in the last episode is, "You're just getting started, Bobby. You'll be grilling your whole life." And so to me, that does kind of sound like he's handing the spatula off to Bobby, and you could make this about Bobby. It's still a hill.
So it'd be the King of the Hill, but instead Hank's dead and it's all about Bobby. Well, damn, how you like Hank's too young in King of the Hill for him to be dead at this time.
He could have a heart attack. He eats a lot of red meat. He smoked a lot of cigarettes that one time.
I don't know. It just doesn't sit well on my palate. I know you're right. You're right about all those things. It just doesn't sit right on my palate.
What if it was all about Bobby and Hank was like one of the ghosts from Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, where he just kind of showed up and he was like his Jedi ghost. Damn. He would tell him how to fix things.
Yeah.
Bwaaa tries to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas.
I don't know.
You want to see Hank as a Jedi ghost?
No, I do not want to see Hank as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a robe. No. I don't know. For me, King of the Hill,
Buck standing next to him.
It just has to Hank. So if they do kill him off, the only way that I would accept him being dead is if he popped up as Bobby's conscious.
Yeah.
Like he would have to be in every episode.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
He would have to be in every episode, and he would have to have Hank on one shoulder and either Cotton and Buck. No, it should be Hank on one shoulder and Cotton and Buck together sitting on his other shoulder, because both of them took a exceptional liking to him. So I think it should have Buck and Cotton on one shoulder and Hank as the angel on the other shoulder.
So if we were, let's say, let's make this argument.
Okay.
Hank is dead. I mean, yeah, he's dead.
All right.
Right?
He's dead. Yeah, okay.
Bobby's the star of the show.
If that's where we're going with it.
Bobby would be, if we're jumping 15 years and he went 13, I would say Bobby was probably about 10 when this thing started. So 23 plus 15. So you've got 38. So Bobby's somewhere between 38 and 40 years old. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think that's probably about Hank Hill's age when we first meet him. He's in his 40s.
Somewhere around there. I think they say that he's 45. I think that's what it is. 42, 45, somewhere around there. I don't know.
So we're shooting in the same
somewhere around there.
Here.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So Hank is dead. Bobby's now the star.
Yep, Bobby's the star.
Is Joseph I think the funniest thing would be Boomhauer's dead, Bill's dead. The only one that's still alive is Dale. And he's still smoking like a chimney.
Okay, but they're all but I understand them all being dead. But what killed them all? They all can't be dead because they would all be only in their 60s.
Let's figure it out.
I mean, I could see
Hank is red meat.
I could see Bill maybe being dead from loneliness. I could see.
I think Bill might have taken his own life.
But probably.
I think maybe Bill.
That's a bit dark, but yeah, probably.
In an attempt to get attention, fake hung himself,
and
but then really hung himself.
He fake hung himself, or he attempted to create drama by hanging
Yeah.
himself fake, and
Yeah.
it ended up he
Ended up
accidentally
killing himself
slipped
anyway.
off the chair or whatever.
they didn't
Because he
find-
was going to be like in the window with the windows open,
They
and
didn't
he was
find
going
him
to
for
be
3 days. You know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Somebody looked around and went, "Where's Bill?"
Yeah, where's Bill?
He was dead, hanging in his ceiling.
So
now Boomhauer. We find out that Boomhauer is a Texas Ranger.
I mean, he could have
Why
been doing
can't he be shot?
He
on
could
the
be
side
shot
of
in the line of
road?
duty or
hit
speeding.
by a diesel as he pulled
something like
somebody
that.
over or something.
Any of those
right?
things are possible. So yeah, essentially they all could be dead for
Sure.
whatever cause. But the only two that I would think at this point, if there was a natural cause of death, which is getting we're getting morbid and
Sure,
dark, but it's
yeah.
funny. It's still
No,
funny.
it's great.
But the only two that I think would die of natural causes would be Bill and Dale. I just don't see Boomhauer getting sick, and I just don't see Hank even with Hank eating
I
red meat and
agree.
stuff. I just don't see Hank.
I agree, but I'm thinking if you're going for the joke, Dale is the only one that's still alive.
If you're going for the joke,
'Cause
Dale
Dale
would be the
should
only
be
one
dead.
still alive. Yeah, Dale should
be dead.
Yeah,
Inhaling all the bug fumes, smoking all the cigarettes.
yeah, everything.
I mean, he should be dead.
Yeah, he should be gone.
Yeah, but he's the only one alive. Okay, so let's go with this premise. He's the
Right.
only one alive. What's up with Joseph?
Joseph.
Bobby's working at Strickland.
Okay, so
Right.
Bobby's working at Strickland. Bobby
Yep.
is now the. I imagine at this point, see, this is what it's going to be for me. Is Hank somehow had ownership when he passed? After Buck passed, Hank somehow managed to. He had to buy his way into getting it, or whatever he had to do to get it.
I think the place is owned by Buck's bastard son.
That might even be funnier.
You see what I'm
So yeah, I got you.
saying?
So you got Buck's bastard
Yeah.
son from some hooker in Mexico.
Sure.
Then you've got
Bobby's working for
Bobby's
him.
working for him. I feel like what ends up happening with
This is a great exercise.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening with I was going to call him John Redcorn Jr. What ends up happening with Dale Gribble,
That's fantastic.
or Joseph Gribble, sorry. So Joseph Gribble comes
Yeah.
to terms, finally finds
Yeah.
out and comes to terms
Figures
with the
it out.
fact that Dale isn't his
Yeah.
dad, but he
Yeah.
still treats and appreciates Dale as his dad.
I think Dale
But
still lives with him.
He goes. I think that what Joseph does is Joseph
Nancy's
goes
gone.
on. Joseph goes on. This might even just be an episode in the new series, but I think that Joseph goes on. Goes and gets in touch with his native roots.
Sure.
He actually goes and seeks out John
Okay.
Redcorn,
Yeah.
and he strikes an actual, like him and John Redcorn
see that.
now
Yeah.
have an actual
They
relationship.
got a bond. Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, Nancy has come to terms with the fact that she didn't really love Dale, and John Redcorn doesn't want her anymore. Neither Dale nor John Redcorn want Nancy, and Nancy is single, I guess, in this world. But in this world, she is now aged. She is now overweight.
Sure.
She now smokes cigarettes.
Yeah.
And
Maybe she has a podcast because she couldn't give up being star of the show.
yeah, she could be
And
doing
she's doing the weather on a podcast.
the weather on a podcast
She's doing
somewhere.
a podcast
Yeah.
about weather. Yeah. I think we're really heading somewhere.
Yeah.
So we need
So is Peggy dead?
I
You can't have Peggy without Hank, though. So
think
I
Peggy's
feel like
still
if
alive.
you think Peggy's still
I
alive,
think Peggy's still alive. I think maybe she's like that volunteer secretary at the middle school.
okay,
You know what I
the
mean?
library aide or something, or
somebody they
the
don't-
ISS lady,
Somebody they don't
yeah,
need.
the in-school suspension lady, or
She's
something.
not being paid to be there.
No,
She
she's
just
there.
keeps showing
She
up.
just keeps showing up every day
Yeah.
to work.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, That's great.
So we need 4 guys in the alley. We've got Bobby. We got John Redcorn Jr.
we got Bobby, we got John Redcorn Jr., we got Stuart Dooley.
That's exactly who I was going to say.
Stuart Dooley.
Yeah. Because that's
your dad died.
That's your
Yeah.
Boomhauer, right?
That's your Boomhauer.
kind of your
essentially,
Boomhauer because he's just got the
yeah. He's got that voice. Yeah,
global warming.
global.
You know, that kind of
warming.
just
Global warming sucks.
global warming sucks.
Yeah,
Your dad died.
your dad died. Yeah, so I like that. And then
So
who would be
who's the fourth?
Oh, that one.
It's the whiny kid.
the whiny kid. Yeah.
What's his name? The kid flying the helicopter,
or it
whatever.
could be Con Jr.
Stewart. No.
Con Jr. Could it be Con Jr.?
Oh, maybe it is Con Jr. Yeah.
Well, no, because I see her and Bobby married. I don't see them not being
I think
married.
you're right. I think
So I feel like she
they are
wouldn't be
married.
standing out there. But maybe, Ted Wasanasong's son.
Ted Wasanasong's son. It could be.
So
I think he's a little older though.
well, it doesn't matter if he's a little older or not. He could
What
still
I'm
be-
saying is,
because
I think it's the nerdy kid.
The nerdy kid?
I think it's the nerdy kid,
Okay.
and I can't remember his name. Artie, if you want to remind us. But
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
yeah, the kid that was standing in front of the cave that they went into, and the kid that was part of the
Which would be funny because I
Cub
think his name
Scouts
is.
or
I
whatever.
think his name might be Artie.
Yeah.
Is that that guy's
name? No,
Is it? No, it's
Come
not.
on. But
I don't remember what
but
episode
yeah,
it is to look it up.
everything that they say, it's the one where they went in the boneyard. Everything that they say,
oh,
this,
it's also in
this kid's like,
the pilot or
I
something.
told you not to do that, or what, that kind of thing.
don't know.
I mean, so I don't know. I think maybe that's your 4. I think maybe now they drink light beer.
I don't even think it's light beer. I think it's like Truly's
Seltzer?
It's the seltzer beers. They're sitting there drinking seltzers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even think they're drinking beer.
They're drinking they're drinking Alamo Seltzer.
Which I'm really surprised they never had.
Comes in 2
any.
flavors.
Dude, they might have some. Never mind. I don't know yet.
What's
They haven't
Alamo Seltzer? It comes in 2 flavors. What are the 2 flavors?
Oh, the 2 flavors.
Yeah.
Agua Fresca
Agua Fresca and Cactus Peach.
And Cactus Peach. There you go. Agua Fresca and Nopales Peach. There
Nopales
you go.
Peach.
Nopales Peach.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Nopales is cactus in Spanish.
Cactus in Spanish in peach.
It's delicious too.
I've never gotten any flavor out of cactus. I don't understand. But
I love it. Cactus
okay.
fruit's good too.
Yeah, they do the cactus with the eggs and all that stuff. I get it. Okay. So he's working at Strickland Propane, which is now owned by Buck's bastard son.
Buck's
Buck
bastard
is
son.
definitely dead.
And the kid doesn't even have the name Strickland.
No, I think he's somebody else. I think I think maybe the mom.
And he's like tattooed up and stuff, and he goes by Dollar Bill.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Yeah.
What's up? The name's Dollar Bill
Dollar
Strickland.
Bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's run through a couple of other King of the Hill staples.
Okay.
Sugarfoot's still open?
No, Sugarfoot's is closed.
Been replaced?
Yeah, Froyo.
Okay, it's a froyo
Yeah,
place.
it's a frozen yogurt place. Or it's been replaced by a strip mall, and there's a frozen yogurt place, a hair salon, a manicure, pedicure place, and like a Dollar General.
Is it? Okay, I want to say something, but I don't want to be indelicate here.
Okay.
Would it be okay for Con to own the strip malls and like there be a bunch of nail salons and stuff like that?
I think it would be. I think that'd be funny.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that'd be hilarious.
I mean, I'm not
Well,
trying
the
to be
show,
ugly,
well,
but
you're not being ugly. The show itself, I mean, the King of the Hill itself, it goes that direction. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it would be.
I think Con hit it
I
big.
think it'd be wrong.
At some point, Con finally hit it big.
I don't think that. I think Con ends up broke and in a trailer.
Oh, you think so?
I think that'd be
Oh,
even
that would
funnier.
be the ultimate
they
irony,
do
I guess,
because they
yeah.
do that one episode where he does become like a redneck.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny if that became like his life. Like he gambled on something so big
Yeah.
that he loses everything, and then Khan leaves him Min leaves him for Ted Wasanasan.
Oh, well, that's not bad. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So now she's like at the country club that he fought to never get into. So he never got to get into the country club, and now Min gets to be in the country club all the time, and he's in a trailer married to Nancy Hicks Gribble.
No. He's all by himself.
Yeah, he's by himself.
But he's still got that jukebox.
The same
He still
jukebox.
got that
It has to be in every episode too. Yeah. Which I
He's-
think that's funny that they keep the continuity of that
Yeah.
jukebox in every. Every time you see the inside of their house,
Sure.
you see the jukebox.
See that jukebox.
Yeah.
So, do they have kids? Do Bobby and Connie?
Yeah, I think they have 2.
Yeah.
I think they have a boy
think
and a
you're
girl, and
right.
I think that he
I think there are two
never had
kids.
a narrow urethra or nothing like that. And I
No.
don't think he's overweight either. I think
He's
at this
not
point
cursed by the
he's
narrow
grew into
urethra.
his body, and
Well, I
he's
think
actually
he's-
built like Hank. Like
I think
he's
kind
tall.
of I think he's kind of that Texan build, with a little bit of a belly and no butt. Kind of
I think
thing.
he ends up. Well, no, I think he ends up built like Hank in a sense, but he's thicker than Hank. Like he doesn't have a diminished gluteal problem, and he's more fleshed out. And he ends up being. I really want this for him, and I feel like that he comes into his own in like junior high school, and he actually becomes like the star football player.
Yeah.
And he does go the way that Hank, and he finally makes Hank proud. And then it's like the championship game, and like 2 weeks
Could be.
after the championship game, Bobby signs to his school, and then his dad dies after he signs to the school.
Maybe he's got to come back and take care of his
he
mom.
gets an offer by Dollar Bill Strickland to come and work for him, and he ends up working for him and becoming the
and
assistant
he's
manager
got
or
to maybe
something.
come back and take care of Peggy.
Or he does go
something
off
like
to
that.
college, and Hank dies while he's at college, and he comes back and takes Hank's job or something.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Where did Luann and Lucky go?
You know, this is what I like to think. I
Where
like to
is
think
they?
that he ran out of PP money
Okay.
and he gets his CDL
Okay.
and becomes an over-the-road truck driver.
Oh,
And they become over-the-road truck drivers who live
they live out of the cab.
in their truck.
Yeah.
So anytime you have them appear in a scene, it's
Can they just drive by and go, and that's it?
or it's them on the phone
Or on the
anytime
CB.
you hear them, it's on a phone or
Yeah.
a CB
Yeah.
or
Oh, that's not
a
bad.
correspondence in some
Email.
sense.
Yeah.
That way
Text.
you could. Hey, you know, with technology these days, they might even be able to put every voice clip from
That's true.
Luann
That's
for
true.
Brittany Murphy, and they
That's
could
true.
not just use voice clips from
Yeah.
King of the Hill. Use any time she has done the King of the Hill
Well,
voice
that's true, too.
in interviews
Yeah.
or anything, and throw them into some AI and create like a usable voice, so they don't have to worry about voice acting. Because I know they've got the technology out there to do that.
I think it's
You know
great.
what would be a great episode for us for Fridays?
Yes, sir.
Somebody suggested this. Shout out to Pippin the Sheltie.
Pippin the Sheltie.
The suggestion was, and I looked and I can't find one, so I don't
Yeah.
know how this would work or
Okay.
how we'd be able to do this, but read an AI generated King of the Hill script.
Oh, I love that.
I
Let's
like
do
that
that.
idea, but
Let's do it.
we'll have to do
But
some
you can't
research.
find any?
We'll have to do some research. You have to help me on it
Oh,
because
hell yeah.
I've done like an hour worth of Google searching and I couldn't find anything. I found a lot
It would
of
be great, though.
generators that
Yeah.
generated different things.
Yeah.
And there's some pay stuff that you have to pay to get
Okay.
some stuff. Because there's some auto copyright stuff, AI
Yeah.
that does copyright
Yeah.
automatically and stuff. So there's a whole lot of stuff out there, but just finding the one that does a script for
Let's
a TV
check
show.
it out, man.
So,
Let's find it. Let's
so-
find it. Let's do this thing.
hey, and also, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up.
I hope
but,
you guys enjoyed our very dark.
Yeah, our rant here. I
Reboot.
hope y'all enjoyed it. So,
The dark
what my
reboot.
ask is of everybody for these Friday
Yeah,
episodes is keep giving us ideas.
Yep.
Send me articles. Send me clips. Send me
I'm willing to do voices.
voices. If you know somebody who could
Willing
do a
to
good
debase
King of the Hill
myself.
voice,
Sure.
but yeah, if you know
Whatever.
somebody who does a good voice, like,
Yeah. Oh,
like
that's true,
send them
yeah.
my way. And everybody that
Voice
I've already
actors.
talked to about being on the show, I'm going to work you in. Just bear with me. We're going to try to do some episodes where we do interviews too,
Yep.
where we'll do like a quick 20-minute, 10-minute interview with somebody and then do like 30 minutes of just me and Mike
Yeah,
talking.
man.
So
If you know somebody who wants to be on the show, we would love to have them.
And I do have a few
and
lined
so,
up.
Yeah.
So
just hit
everybody
us up.
bear with me that's listening that I have talked to already.
If they
We're
haven't,
getting
where
to
can
you.
they reach us?
If you haven't and you do want to be a part of the show or be on the show, just please keep in mind that everything is pre-recorded, so nothing's live. So if you're going to troll, it's going to be pointless. And if it is usable, we'll use it, and it'll be fun.
Yep.
But we prefer you to be at least somewhat knowledgeable about King of the Hill.
That would be nice.
We prefer you to be a fan, or if you're not a fan, at least like King of the Hill in some way, shape, or form. And even if you don't, I wouldn't mind talking to you too, I guess, in a sense. But
Yeah.
we just don't want any cutting up.
That
or,
would make a good episode if we got a hold of somebody who really doesn't like King of the Hill.
Yeah, no, it would be a
And
good
talk to
episode.
them.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I just don't want like somebody to come on and be like, "Fuck King of the Hill," blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
F King of the Hill,
Yeah.
F King of the Hill for
No,
like
that's
5
not-
minutes and then hang up the phone.
Well,
I
Baba-
mean, it'd be great. It'd be fun for me and you in the moment to laugh at,
Baba
but
Booey.
it doesn't make any
Yeah.
usable
That's true.
content.
That's
so.
true. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Join us again. We will be again around on Monday with our regular episode. And then on Fridays, we're doing this weird stuff. Hope you're enjoying it.
We're enjoying it. I know for me and Mike, the episodic stuff, we really like doing it.
Yeah.
But this gives me and Mike a chance to do something just a little bit different. So it breaks up. And I know it's not monotonous because it's really not monotonous for me yet. And if it was, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to continue to do it as long as
Right.
we've been doing it so far.
Right.
But it helps break up a little bit of whatever tiny bit
Yeah,
of
sure.
monotony's there.
And I got to
For
tell
you
you,
guys.
I got to tell you, if we were doing 2 episodic shows in one day, I think I might die.
It would take it takes quite a bit of
You've
energy.
seen what I do on these pages, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
The pages are crazy,
I
and that's
highlight
another thing.
everything,
And that's
I take a
another
lot of
thing that I'm
notes.
gonna
Yeah.
seek out for you guys. Can't pay you. I can give you a production credit.
Sure.
I can give you a pat on the back.
Yep.
And
We'll send you a
eventually,
Rogue
maybe
Media
one
sticker.
day, if we ever get a budget for our podcast, maybe we'll work you in. But if you guys want to take on the transcript part of the show for us,
Oh,
hey,
heck
we'd
yeah.
appreciate it. And all that is going to a website that I would give you. There's a website that has all of the King of the Hill scripts, but we have to go and write
Boy,
every person's name.
If anybody wanted to do that,
so
I
if there's
would
anybody
be
that wants to do anything similar to that,
extremely beholden to
DM
them.
me, BWAAAKOTH, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. DM me, and we'll discuss kind of what we're looking for.
Are you still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Show my script.
So this is so for those of you that are watching us on Instagram live right now.
This is what I do every week.
This is what he does every week here. So
Yeah.
Mike color codes it by the
person
voice,
talking.
by the person talking.
I
and
make all
then
my notes.
He also makes a bunch of different notes, and
I
his
write
notes
like a third grader.
Yeah, and the notes and stuff that really Mike kind of hits on is just like scene stuff in the scene.
Yeah,
that
I try to pick up
that
stuff that's really
you can't
like hidden.
see.
Yeah.
That you can't see as a listener.
Yeah.
And we want you to, it kind of fits the scene.
If anybody ever wants to take that on, man, I am
we'd appreciate
happy
it.
to do it. That would be
it would take a load off of us
lovely.
for sure. We would appreciate it. But if not, oh well, we'll just keep on grinding
keep
on
on
and
grinding.
keep on keeping on.
You got it.
Live
All right,
Cigar.
man. Well, next time, again, you can catch us at roguemedianetwork.com.
Yep.
Or
and
at all
there's
the
a lot of great
places that
shows on
Rusty
Rogue
said.
Media. Personal favorites of mine are Bros, Foes, and Heroes,
Bing bong.
Boobays. Really like them. Bros, Foes, and Heroes is a comic book themed podcast where they take it's actually Mike and a friend of his named Zach that actually take and dissect
the brains.
wacky comic book stuff.
Yep.
And then
This last time we did Marvel PSAs, so like public service announcements.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
There was a comic that told you not to inhale vapors. There was a comic that told you that asthma is just a big green monster
That's
after
awesome.
you and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so there you go. There's that
and
one.
then Spider-Man fighting a guy who was trying to tell kids that it's okay to get pregnant under 14.
Oh, wow.
So
What
that
the
was
hell?
fun.
Okay, so that's Bros, Foes, and Heroes, everybody. That's Bros, Foes, and Heroes. And then the other one that I like to recommend is Boobays, which is a
Boobays is
horror
great.
movie review. And two great hosts.
Friends.
They're good friends,
Yep.
so there's a lot of great chemistry. Great, funny show. Y'all check that out. Boobays.
Good stuff.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Wimatanye.
Tanya.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.